We have just a few days to move fast and react to this recent crypto dip that's giving us some of the best discounts right now in areas where there's some key narratives. If we can find those key narratives that have had good sell-offs, then we stand to make some very good money if we can move quickly. I think Launchpads fall into one of the best, most bullish narratives out there, and in this video I'm going to explain why that is, as well as cover two of my favorite Launchpads and look at projects being launched on these Launchpads that stand to see some killer returns. So hit that like button and let's get into today's video. Now guys, you're like, what on earth is a Launchpad? Very good question. A Launchpad is simply a crypto project that basically asks you to come in and stake tokens while they provide you with the opportunity to invest early in some new crypto projects. Now there's a huge benefit to this. It means that they can bring in new top quality crypto projects, do the research for you, allowing you to invest in them, but not only that, to be able to incubate and support these projects to getting off the ground, which means if you're investing, there's a good chance that we can make a lot of money because Launchpads are selecting very good projects. Not only that, if we invest in the Launchpad and all of the projects the Launchpad's invested in do well, then the Launchpad will also do very well. So how do we find out about these different Launchpads? Well, go to cryptorank.io and then go down to IDO, ICO, ROI. Big mouthful, right? Now, IDO, initial DEX offering, initial coin offering, performance. What we're looking for is IDO Launchpad ROI. Okay, this is going to compare all of the different Launchpads. Now, any given Launchpad could have launched anywhere between 137 projects or 139 and like 10 or 20. Now, some of these Launchpads have been far more successful than others, and we have had a recent dip in crypto prices, which means that this chart might be a little bit confusing. Now, DAOmaker is one of the biggest Launchpads out there and has been quite successful in a handful of projects. Now, you can see that the average return on investment right now is around 1.35x, which is like, you know, not very impressive. But the all-time high average return on investment, 30.92, 31x. Pretty good, okay? Now what we can do to sort between these is click on the ROI there, and you can see some of these have done really well. Gaffy or GameFi something, gamefi.org, 366x. When did that launch? 10th of September 21. Okay, so you probably missed it. But look, some of these, Epic Prime, that was a big one, okay? Opulus, coming down through the list, some of these are absolute monsters, okay? And what you basically do is you hold a bunch of DAOmaker tokens, and then you can stake these tokens in order to buy into projects. And then you get an allocation, which might be like this. You have to stake like 2,000 tokens in order to gain a small allocation. That's okay. Remember, DAOmaker is incentivized to have these projects do well, okay? Because they probably own 5-10% maybe of each of these different tokens. That's very important, because they're then going to help those tokens get off the ground by bringing people in to invest in them. They're going to do marketing campaigns for them, all sorts of different bits and pieces. And since the DAOmaker token price is directly limited to the performance of its overall portfolio, you're starting to see something, right? So maybe you do invest $2,000 and get yourself like $25 to invest, but $25 at 366x is $9,100. And remember that $2,000 that you stake is in a token that theoretically could go up. We'll look at the chart in a minute for DAOmaker because I think there's a better investment out there. Now let's go back and have a look at some of the others. It's quite obvious that Bounce is having a killer time right now in terms of its IDOs. Why might that be? Well, probably because of this. It's just launched a token called SAVM, Satoshi VM, okay, which is a layer 2 built on Bitcoin. They raised 21 grand, not a lot, but this project did a 293x, and you'll see it launched on the 18th of January. So literally in the last 5 days, it's done a 293x. Fucking crazy, okay? So if you'd invested in this, you could have actually already cashed out 293x. Now, I'm not telling you to go into DAOmaker or any of these ones. I just wanted you to look at these different Launchpads and understand the benefits, perhaps, of investing in Launchpads. Particularly, the Launchpad themselves tend to do very well when this market starts to heat up. These Launchpads right now are heavily discounted because a lot of these coins got hammered when Bitcoin went down. And that's where we're going to see some good value. So yeah, Bounce Launchpad looks alright. You can see so far they've only raised 1.3 million, which is not a lot, okay? And a lot of their projects not particularly exciting. They've had one absolute killer, which is that recent one, but the rest of them not done huge amounts. So, BCS 121x. But ultimately, I'd say there's probably better ones out there. Seedify, if you're subscribed to my channel, you'll find out is one of my favorites, and I'll show you why right now, okay? Raised 25 million, 26 million. They're doing all right, okay? The average return to all-time high is not as good as that of Downmaker on current prices, but it's still 26x, nothing to be sniffed at. Now, come across the all-time high, and then we can see the Blocktopia 700x, pretty much. 700x, which means if you put in $10, you would have made 7 grand. Ludicrous. Sidus. Okay, and I'm saying some of these projects you might only see a 6x or a 7x on, or whatever. But you put like $28 or $30 into each of these projects, and one of them does a 700x on you. And you're laughing, aren't you? Because you'd make like 20 grand. Okay. Now, okay, so what else? Seedify on the Solana ecosystem. Also very bullish, okay? Solana ecosystem is going crazy right now, and I think it's going to continue to boom. Seedify also has a big focus towards GameFi and stuff like that, which I think towards the end of 2024, we're going to see GameFi picking up and getting more exciting again. So I think we need to be patient, but I think Seedify looks great. Now, there's 2 ways that we can potentially profit here, and this is the first way. Once you've selected your Launchpad, of which others are available, I'm just using Seedify because I've seen the website before, you can go buy your S-Fund tokens and stake them. All the different ways to do it are on here. I don't know exactly how much you've got to stake, but I know roughly it's quite a lot of tokens, it seems like, to be able to get into these pre-sales. And this might not be for everyone, but I've got another alternative if you hang around to the end of this video. Now, obviously, you buy into Seedify, you get access to all of their upcoming projects, of which they're showing you some of the upcoming projects that are happening here. Animalia. You got Bloodloop, which is quite a big game that people are excited about. And some of these, you might have a good opportunity to buy some good chunks of these tokens that could do really well. But do you really want to be staking your tokens in Seedify if you're concerned about the price of Seedify? Well, let's have a look. This is Seedify right now, and I've got my little doodles on the chart. But you can see, as the bull market started to wake up and all those projects that Seedify had been investing in through the bear market started to pick up, we saw a huge juicy rally that saw like an 8x, okay, 8x, ludicrous. But since then, as the market has, continued to bleed, and this is currently on Tuesday, but, things might have changed by the time this video goes live, we can see that there is a pullback of around 43%. Now, as you can see, I've identified with this red box, although it should be green, a buy zone area here. I do think that it could be a reasonable buy zone area here. I also think that it could get a little bit lower, and if it does, I would be very delighted to get in around 2.17. Now, that's not financial advice, do your own research, blah, blah, blah. Mainly because once the market stabilizes and continues higher, all those projects within their portfolio are going to be worth more, which makes the Seedify token worth more. And if I can hold Seedify tokens, I can also get into those pre-sales. And it's much better to hold Seedify tokens at this value, where I'm going to make a return on investment through the bull market, because previously it was all the way up at $18, which is like a 9x. If I can make 9x on the tokens I'm holding, and then be able to invest in them, it's a no-brainer. But there is another way. Let's go through and sort by recent launches, okay? So we can look at when, and you can see basically projects that were launching in and around October. Now, I want projects that were launching October, November. Why? Because they tended to do very well around then. The bull market felt like it was getting going, so a lot of new projects on Launchpads suddenly blew up. You can see a few here, like Chappies and whatever else. DexCheck, I know, was a popular on air. Now, we also wanted to pay attention to the current volume in the last 24 hours. Look at some of the volumes here. We got Open Fabric AI doing pretty well with a 7 mil market cap, and then come down to Soil, 100k at 2.6. Okay, so $2.6 million market cap, $100,000 trading volume, pretty decent. So let's take a look at it. And that brings us to this page. So first of all, what we want to look through is start to see what Soil is all about. We can see by overview, we can come across the website. Now, what we're looking for is this. We know that they're backed by Seedify, and that's a very important thing because Seedify has a lot of ability to get markets moving again, particularly for these smaller market cap coins. So whilst with a lot of other small market cap coins that aren't really backed by anyone important, they can tend to go to zero, but these won't really happen when they're backed by a big dog like Seedify. Now, Soil, secure returns on stablecoins backed by real-world assets. This is a very interesting one because in the last bull market, we saw a huge explosion in staking of stablecoins, and especially if you can earn up to 14% yields. Now, there was a problem with this back in the last bull market because they weren't backed by real world assets. They were backed by other underlying risk assets such as Bitcoin and Ethereum, which meant if you're backed up by a risk asset and the whole assets go down, then you're screwed. But the likes of BlockFi, Celsius, etc. did really, really well because the idea is genius. Now, if you back them up with real world assets such as gold and silver and non-volatile assets, then you stand to find a very successful project, especially if you can earn a 14% yield on stablecoins. Why? Well, because of this. I can hold soil tokens, a volatile asset, and I can earn a percentage reward in stablecoins. That means I can actually take profits out of the market without taking profits out of the market. Okay, so again, built on Solana, so you can earn USDC, fully regulated DeFi protocols. Fully regulated, something else we want to look at. We want to look into whether or not it's fully regulated. And if you come down below, you can see a fully doxed team, and after going and digging into it, they seem to have a great experience within the crypto space. Find out more about their real world assets and all these different bits and pieces. Real world assets backing up, where we can either stake stable coins or soil tokens and earn more stablecoin reward. And they've got some good partnerships. Okay, so this is all starting to look quite positive for a project that seems to be pretty cheap right now, around a couple of $1 million market cap. Soil token currently offers yield tokenization, earning rewards, and yield boosting. So what we want to look at in regards to any token out there that we might be looking to invest is it going to see us any return? Are people going to buy a token like Soil? And if they are they going to hold on to it? What are their incentives? Well, it seems to me if I hold this token, there's a good chance that lots of other people are going to hold it and stake it, which means it reduces the supply. And if the demand starts to build into the market again, remember Seedify, the big daddy, is going to be driving marketing budget towards coins like this, then that could be very promising. Now, all we need to do, it seems, is just come across, connect a wallet, total lend, you can grow tokens, USDC or Soil tokens, and then you'll see that you earn in various different tokens. And it seems to be very straightforward, okay? So you basically invest crypto, you lend stablecoins to them, so you are staking stablecoins into the Soil protocol, then gives liquidity to the real world out there for people to go and invest money into all sorts of different bits and pieces. They earn percentages on them, that money comes back into the Soil protocol, they obviously take their cut, and then that money comes back out to the crypto investors, where you can earn either stablecoin or Soil token rewards. Okay, so that seems pretty interesting. So we've just come across the project. It seems to be an interesting project. You can understand why people might want to use this, because as the bull market goes on, people will take profits into stablecoins, and you still want to be able to earn a percentage on your stablecoins. So you're pulling out all your gains in crypto, making 14% yield. If it makes sense to you and me why people might use something, that's important because other people might use it. So basically what we really need to look for is a project where people seem to be using something and understand why someone would use it. If people are using it, they're going to use the tokens. Supply-demand model, okay? Obviously, go into more depth on this. Now, let's take a look at the social media, okay? 41.7k followers. It's pretty big. Considering the market cap is not particularly big right now, we can look across at coin market cap. Market cap sat there, 1.6 million. Speculating supply is kind of on the low side, but that's obviously where the staking rewards are going to come from. We can give them follow and then maybe take this and see whether they're followed by other influencers. Things like that could be useful. Okay, so let's retrace and think about what we've done. All we've done is go across to crypto rank. We've clicked on IDO Launchpad. We've gone to the IDO Launchpad return on investment. We're looking at the ones at the top of this list, Seedify, DAOmaker, etc. Then what we've done is we've just sorted by how recently they were released and looked for ones that were launched more recently that have maybe seen a little spike in the price, and we can see how they perform. So straight off the Launchpad, if we were involved in this project, then we would have seen ourselves like an 8-9x, pretty good. But what's going on right now, we've seen a nice healthy pullback as lots of people take profits into that 50% zone. So Soil, again, looks like a reasonable project backed by a big name. And then all you need to do is just keep repeating the process. Go through, find some of these coins that have been launched around the October, November time, and you might find some absolutely killer projects with smaller market caps that are backed by very big names and will probably do very well. Look, the average return on investment to all-time high is 26x. Right now, we look at those projects that were launched more recently, like the October, Novembers, and the current return on investment is like 2x or 0.4x or 4x or 2x. You know, remember the average. If you're playing the averages game, most of these, in theory, should go to like 25x. Easy. But obviously, if you're getting involved earlier, you're going to make more money potentially because you can always buy in cheaper on Launchpads, or if you have access to pre-ICOs. Now, last week I made this video about a render killer called Ether. Now, since making that video, I've got something huge and very exciting to announce. We at the House of Crypto have managed to do something extremely important. We've teamed up with Ether to be able to offer a pre-sale, a pre-ICO that no one else in the entire crypto space is offering for this particular project. This project is backed by some of the biggest names in the game, has way more compute power than Render, and could well be one of the top performers in the entire DeepIn space. And I'm delighted to say that through the inner circle, which is linked down below, we have exclusive access to a pre-sale for this project where you'll be able to invest in Ether, potentially just by next week, before the ICO or live sale happens. And by buying in even earlier, you will also get a massive discount on the token sale price. Each month we have 3 or 4 different sales for various projects, ranging from GameFi projects, DeFi, DeepIn projects, all being launched in partnerships with Binance Labs, Polygon Studios, and some of the biggest names in the game. There is no opportunity that I have heard of in the entire crypto space that does what we do, where we pool people's funds together in a venture capital pool fund to be able to access some of the biggest projects in the entire crypto space that otherwise you would need millions of dollars to access. Not only that, but also in this group, you can access this live chat. We also just set up the live trade zone where we can see people are now posting live trades. This particular trade that was posted by Captain Cutler yesterday afternoon is already in big profits and seemingly doing quite well. We're also seeing some great setups coming in now on Solana. You can ask questions about chart analysis. There's a section for people who are new in crypto who just want the basics and to learn more, with various experts in here supporting them. You can learn about airdrops. You can participate in GameFi and NFT projects. And there's also this other section called the Wallet Tracking Alpha, where you can copy some of the best traders and airdrop hunters. And from that, you can then go and copy their trades and things like that. So all of that is available through the inner circle, which is linked down below, guys, and it's just $19.99, with a huge discount available if you select the annual package. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that video today. If you did, do me a favor, hit that like button. If you're waiting to hear about the giveaway for the prizes for the 100,000 subscribers, then I will be doing that on Tuesday. I'm just on holiday for a few days, so don't worry, that will happen, guys. Thank you so much for all your support. Hit that like button, subscribe. See you soon. Bye-bye.